All right, now we are in the pitfall section. So you found all sorts of ideas to be looking for. And now this is something to be looking out for as we're gathering those ideas. Another thing to take into account is going to be what we talk about in this section. So we're going to go over the lessons that I learned from failing 7 products. The highlight of those are that you need to invent within search volume. When I would invent without a search volume, which you'll learn about a little bit, it didn't work. But when I did, like this with the solar eclipse goggles, I was able to really kill it. And with all my other variations that I made, you always got to take into account the market. Now, we need to validate that with sales data and what the market wants through reviews and whatnot. And you need to have the best product, because if you don't have the best product, it's going to be tough. So Casey Goss has seen over 30,000 product launches at Viral Launch, and he's going to share some lessons that he sees as a common thing that beginner sellers or even some more advanced sellers are running into when they're having failed product launches that don't work. A summary of those are people that don't have enough resources to compete. You're trying to go into something really competitive. People, kind of going into brand affiliated markets. So basically trying to go into high-end coach purses when people are buying because of the brand and not because of the actual product. Also, people doing me too. So not doing anything different and in competitive markets where everybody else is spending tons of money and they don't have the resources to compete. Another one that I see is hijacking. So essentially people go and they see a product that's selling well on Amazon and they try to go sell on that listing. You can't do that. We explain that more in depth, but you have to make a new listing. You can't just find something that looks like it on Alibaba and sell on that listing. We'll also talk about times when these sales tools aren't correct. And sometimes a summary of those is on variation listings when there's multiple variations shown. It's a little bit tricky. We go in depth on that. So at the high end, the low end of sales, so if somebody's selling 50 a month or 3,000, those are kind of where it's inaccurate as it gets on those extreme ends. So there's some methods and measures that we have to do to look out and make sure that we're getting correct data so that we're not sourcing something that isn't incorrect. And we teach in validation how to make sure that you can really be confident about these sales, a product that you're going to source. Obviously, we talk about brand affiliated a little bit more. Yeah, so just we go over brand affiliated and uneven sales markets. So we already talked about brand affiliated, but uneven ones where essentially there's only 1 or 2 successful sellers in the marketplace. You don't want to go into those because they could be driving external traffic or something. We go in more in depth on that. Another issue that people run into is they don't use the correct keywords. So essentially they're thinking, wow, I should invent for these kids hippie pants that are for 4-year-olds, but nobody's looking that up. But the products that show on the page are selling well. Essentially that's the summary of that one. And then we go over some things that can really destroy sellers or end their career early. Gated and restricted products. So gated, certain categories on Amazon, you have to go through certain approvals to be able to sell. And then restricted products, some you can't even sell at all. Some you have to have special certifications and get approval from Amazon. So we'll go more in depth on that. We talk about liability and getting sued. Some products you just want to stay away from because you might get sued, and that's not fun. It takes one burned down house to really end a career, and we'll give you guys some general guidelines of where to look and what to look out for. Then we talk about things like getting your account banned or suspended. You can't sell trademarked products. We explain what that is, how to see if a product is trademarked or if there's a patent on it, and talk about copyright, go over that too. And then the other things, some people just not taking into account all the fees and something actually isn't profitable when it looks like a great idea. And if you're not making money, well, then why are you doing it? And then the last one is just people not sourcing a quality product. At the end of the day, like we talked about in the beginning, you got to have the best quality products. So just making sure that those consumer needs that we identify are actually what we source. So hope that you guys enjoy this section. So these are the things to really look out for by making sure you take these into account. You can make sure that you source a good product. After this section, we are going to go into validation, and that's how you can really validate sales, validate everything else, and validate if you should go forward and try to source this product or if you should go back to the drawing board and find some other ideas, because it only takes one idea to get your business started. And so really put in the time and make sure that you've got a bulletproof idea, because it takes a lot of time and energy. And by putting the time and energy into the right areas and getting a good opportunity, that's going to be the best way to get your business to grow.